Well, it's a new year. That means a new beginning, new performance expectations and plans being put into place at workplaces. So what can employees do to protect some of their rights? Let's talk about this with employment lawyer Alex Lucifero, who joins us now. Alex, a fresh start. We talk about it. Many in the workplace familiar with a lot of these reviews, a lot of this, the feedback that they get. So let's start with this. Do employees have to accept some of that review or criticism if they feel it's unfair or inaccurate?
Sure. Well, listen, if it's inaccurate, Matt, what I would say is absolutely not. An employee does not have to accept any kind of criticism or performance reviews if they're based on inaccuracies. What an employee should be doing in that situation, Matt, is not getting riled up, not causing a scene in the office or in the workplace. What I recommend to the employees that I speak with dealing with this situation is that they very simply send an email to your employer, very professional, very polite, things don't have to get antagonistic. Explain to them why you disagree with the performance. Explain to them the inaccuracies that they're relying upon in criticizing their performance. That's how you properly deal with inaccurate or unfair criticism in the workplace.
Right, and again, that makes sense. Now, performance improvement plans are at different points. We know sometimes there's milestones, guidelines, or if something needs to be improved. Give us a little bit of insight into them and why they're implemented.
Sure, a performance improvement plan is more of a formal process, Matt. So rather than just talking about one-off criticism or one-off performance concerns, a performance improvement plan is this tool that employees or HR representative will use that rather documents, I guess, specific criteria that the employee should be meeting in order to improve their performance. And oftentimes that comes in the form of a document that says you have to do X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, the employee risks perhaps further discipline up to the point perhaps of being terminated from their employment.
And so if it gets out to that, and normally, like you said, there's a few different steps or at different points, what is an employee entitled to if they are fired because of performance or productivity?
Yeah, that's obviously a worst case scenario for an employee being let go from their employment as a result of these concerns. It's actually quite difficult for an employer to let an employee go without severance or without notice as a result of performance issues. Matt, the bar is very, very high there. Certainly, they can let an employee go with severance. And so, even if there are performance concerns with respect to a particular employee, it needs to be said in almost every single case that employee is going to be owed severance. They'll be owed severance based on their age, their position with the employer, their years of service with that same employer. Severance is significant for employees in Ontario. It could be months and months and months, up to 24 months of pay for long service senior employees. So there is a burden there on the employer if they want to let an employee go, even if there are performance concerns with that employee.
Certainly a good refresher, good insight as we kick off, as we mentioned, this new year. Alex Lucifero, appreciate your insight as always. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Matt.